All right, I'm gonna call to order this Thursday, May 2nd, 2024, meeting of regular historical commissions. So let's see what we have here. We have Commissioner Walsh, Commissioner Alnardi, Commissioner Booth, Commissioner Walker, Commissioner Richard Doyle. Commissioner, taking a minute to review the minutes. Set on entertained motion, we set the minutes from the April 18th, 2024 meeting. So moved. There's a second on that motion? Second. Any discussion on it? Everything's good at see? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, all right, now we call a vote. Commissioner Walsh, yes. Commissioner Nardi? Yes. Commissioner Judith?
Yes.
Commissioner Worthy?
Yes.
Commissioner Walter? Yes. Commissioner yes, minutes are accepted. Continue here, so we have 909 Chestnut Street is are not going to be here. Now, what do we have for information for how long we can put this on?
Watch out, buddy boy.
Put it off for as long as it shows, or if you decide you want to go ahead and have them come back, that's up to you guys as well.
So, 9197 Chestnut Street, I entertain a motion to continue to the next one. So, second. Is there any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, we call the vote. Commissioner Nardi? Yes. Commissioner Duke?
Yes.
Commissioner Zorzi?
Yes.
Yes. Commissioner Walsh, yes. Continue to what's the date?
The next meeting, so May 66.
All right, Bob? We're also going to pull out 208 Belmont Avenue. Evidently, they're not going to be here either today. So that's a front porch renovation. Did I miss something? Oh, no, I got it. No, I got it. Face the porch, sorry. We have a continuation of the date for them too. I mean, when are we gonna?
208 by my now.
Yeah.
Again, they're not timing out, they're gonna time out in June, June 21st.
Okay, so for that one also, I take a motion to continue to May 16th meeting.
Okay.
Is there any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, Commissioner Ducal,
Yes.
Commissioner Zorzi,
Yes.
Commissioner Walter. Yes. Commissioner Walsh, yes. Commissioner Nardi.
Yes.
Let's continue to.
You missed something about 105 board. So continue.
No, 1105 is coming up. Okay, we also have, all right, let's get to the other continued public hearings. 1105 Worthington Street, someone here for that application? All right, well, I'm gonna set it aside, somebody remind me to come back to it. I'm gonna cover it right there. Next is 134 Buckingham. This is an application for window replacement, 17 windows of vinyl, exact color. Where did we leave this?
I think that one of the ones.
Yes, that's what we
You can just give your names.
My name is Joe Johnson, address 134 Buckingham Street.
If somebody could summarize, I think I was online for this.
So we have the windows. But they were in the panes, I think, in the glass.
Oh, yes, okay. And
We're gonna go with the ones with the dark color.
It was the, no, it was without a thing with the dog.
Yes.
Okay.
Instead of
No
the-
lights, no lights, dark colors?
Yes,
Okay. Was there any,
and I think Al mentioned like brown, tinted green.
It'll be,
will be black, so you've been able to determine you can do it that way?
yes,
Uh,
and I sent in photos of the actual language.
yeah.
These are existing windows.
So,
Yeah.
well, we have these with these have lights.
Yeah, so those are just, examples of what the framing would be, the left on the bottom of the, that is the plan.
Any commissioners have any questions for the petition?
We don't have,
You have a model.
we have the model, you might have it in your packet, but we don't, if it's been updated, we have it.
Okay, which model is it going to be?
Can you send it in?
Yeah, I do.
You have that, yeah.
If you go to photos, the photo in there. If you got a third window option, I believe that's. That's just, no, not that.
This says pellet entry, the double entry door.
It's not the color. It's not.
So
No, it's because the glass is window.
that is right.
It is not. It's not in that. It's the most recent. You said it's big. You said it's big. I didn't. That's it.
And this only has to, you know,
Never themselves.
Window posts.
That one,
Okay.
but the actual picture of it's two stuff.
Okay.
Well, left windows. Yes, okay, so that's the, yeah. The actual picture of it with color.
There's no page in black.
in the division of the panes and so is.
So 100 SHS. That's just.
So I thought I saw a model number further up the page.
Yeah, it's right there. 100.
Yes.
HS, by 100 SH.
100 series, single hung reverse cottage oriole, no flying.
It's the Anderson 100 series, so.
All right, so we got a. Any commissioners have any questions?
Do we know if this Anderson is on the improvements? Or is one that we improved back?
I thought it was, I thought that's probably one. I thought it was.
Let's have to check. Picture has some of the features in the picture.
Yeah, the little south.
And there should be a picture in there.
Yeah, there
With the color. on some.
There's this. But the color is the right color.
You said it was a sample of the window.
Yes, I emailed him, it's a picture showing the black.
So that's if you go to the.
It's a big, a big picture of it.
You go all the way back in the back, there's a picture.
Or is it one?
And if you go to like, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Lights in it, but.
Yeah,
It's the
definitely.
same thing without the light.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. This is right.
Mhm.
Yep, that's
Let's see. Okay, well, I don't have any other questions. Nobody else? Open this up to public commentary. If anybody here would like to speak for or against the application for certificate of appropriateness on 34 Buckingham Street to replace the windows with the Anderson 100 SHS in color black. Anybody for or against?
Stephen, what was the table?
Okay. David?
Dan Gavy, 105 Wilmington. Provided the color is black, it looks like a good option.
Okay, it is black by the application. Anybody else for or against?
And also with no grid.
Right, and with no grids. Okay, nobody else? Okay, I'm gonna close public commentary. Okay, and entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of appropriateness 130 Buckingham Street to install the Anderson 100 SHS window without grids in the color black.
Second.
Is there any discussion on that motion? Okay, let me call the vote. Commissioner Zorzi,
Yes.
Commissioner Walter, yes. Commissioner Walsh, yes. Commissioner Alnardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Duty.
Yes.
Okay. Well, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, diligence.
Thank you. I'll see you guys soon.
Okay, take care.
Okay, I'm gonna back up to 11:05. We're in intro. This is what? This. Wow. So. This is the application for certificate of appropriateness to install window solar roof in place of existing non-original asphalt for changes in roof repair. On the back porch area.
That can't be, the porch is opposite to the side of the house that you're looking at.
So it's not visible from the public, but
It's visible from Thompson Street.
Thompson Street, I think. Well, let's see what it looks like. I know the picture you're looking
I believe I sent pictures now.
at.
Essentially, it's about an 18-foot wide, 6-foot roof that projects up to the back of the house.
Well, pictures of the windows themselves. This is what's going on.
So the house is presently not that far.
Well, it's the house. So where's it getting rid of them?
No, that's in the house on Mulberry.
Okay, well, that's in this file. So I think that I saw.
So that's a reference to where he's gonna be putting that meter. It's gonna be in the same layout as 16 orders.
Oh, okay, thank you for,
Okay, so if you're looking at this picture.
Yeah.
The back porch is directly behind that fence.
Okay,
The tree's no longer there.
okay.
Yeah, there it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's going on top of that.
What's on there now? What's on there now?
The remains of asphalt.
That's what she was. What's on the rest of the house? The remains of asphalt shingles?
They're in better shape up top, because
Okay.
people haven't walked now. This is a lower pitch roof and people have tendency to go out.
So is this, they're gonna be, is this, where more of the roof wound up with the, your goal is?
If it works out, the whole roof. What we're trying to do is exemplify a technically solar roof that doesn't have entrapment objects.
Well, unfortunately, you still got the captains on the side. This should be
We have a moderate amount of entrapment. They require that we put the electrical conduits inside the wall.
Okay.
So there won't be any electrical conduits on the electric company. I've gone around and around, I don't think I've ever seen one color like that. And they are not extremely cooperative. They have some technical requirements as far as the number of bends the, electrical connections, they have no drawings. They don't have any records of that much of electricity. Apparently they have no records in any hospital for that between. But they have a manhole in the center of the intersection of Worthington and Thompson. And the wires coming from there to the front northeast corner. And they're requiring that we put it there. And we're suggesting that we're going to revive the shrubs that used to be there.
I showed you a picture a minute ago. It's gonna be like that. This is.
No, because the other,
I just haven't gone through that.
right, that's the one that's supposed to be integral, but is never integral. This is the one that we're gonna,
This is what you want. You guys are also.
the whole roof, you know. They have two different types of shingles out. One of them, they have the electron, electrically connected ones, and they have a non-electric connected ones, like the north side, but it's basically it's the same, but it's not. And it's not light gray or dark gray, and it's just,
So this would be the, so this would be the solar, and this would be the dummy shingle, so I know that,
I can't tell the solar.
there's just, okay.
You can.
It looks like they're two different finishes, so it's nice features.
Okay, is there anything else we gotta talk about in this installation?
I sent them Mulberry Street
Yeah, that's why you said.
because the electrician who is doing the work just finished that. And the young lady from Eversource suggested that that was a similar installation that she showed.
Okay. Can you put that, not that one, the other, the house itself up again? Or is it long gone? Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's good. So where does it go?
Right, to the right.
Where is it going?
Goes to the right, towards the front of the house.
Yes.
Right
Okay,
there.
you see on the house, the piece of wall that has no window.
Yes.
Oh, that's
It's gonna go on the masonry.
Yeah.
Right below where the, right, exactly there.
Okay, and you're gonna block that in some
We're
manner.
gonna extend you see the evergreen hedges
Yes.
on the side, we're gonna bring those out.
So where is the conduit going from that? Just through that wall? So the only that's gonna be there are these.
No.
Well, it's gotta be a couple of those.
2 boxes,
Right, this one?
and a meter in the box, and a meter in the,
Okay, well, I'm okay. Does anybody have that, any other questions regarding this? Let me open this up for public commentary. Keep that big. Okay, I'd like to open this up for public commentary. If anybody here would like to speak for or against this application for certificate of appropriateness to install the Luma solar roof in place of existing non-original asphalt strip shingles in the rear porch roof at 1105 Worthington Street.
Harry Seymour, 68 Washington Road. I'd like to speak for it.
Thank you. Anybody else for or against? Seeing none, I'll close the public commentary. Anyway. I'd entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of appropriacy for Worthington Street to install a roof in place of existing non-original asphalt strip shingle on the rear porch roof.
So
Second. Is there any discussion on that motion?
It should be added that only 2 boxes are gonna be in that
Well,
little.
yeah, well, the box is installed as. If somebody could have that. Okay, so the motion is gonna be. With including that the boxes would be mounted in the location as presented. Right there, okay. Can I get a second on second? Okay, any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, we call the vote. Commissioner Walsh, yes. Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Judith Crowell,
Yes.
Commissioner Josie,
Yes.
Commissioner Walter.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do about your product. It's a good thing. 92 fucking. Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, I went out of line because Dave was a little late.
That's right.
We're out of order.
I thought she was 92. I mean,
I am there.
okay.
Hello.
Name and address for the record.
Ann Houghton, 92 Buckingham Street. Yeah, right. So while you're doing that, first of all, thank you guys for guidance last time, was eye-opening, say the least. So I'm hoping today will be better.
Okay, so the application is.
So I wanted to want to amend.
Okay. Can I have appropriateness for. As proposed architect from. Okay. Fortunately, I think I'm gonna have to read this entire thing, this one. Is this a proposal? I'll make sure that was fine. Let me see if I can figure this. Application for certificate of appropriateness, if we need to Buckingham. Please see the attached proposal, which will be listed. See right now, this.
Mm.
Why are you laughing at me?
I don't know if that's it. I don't have my
We have
whole packet.
Oh, here, hold it there. I just gotta keep going more pages in. Let me read this one. This year the tax folder. Pictures of property. Supposed to change the curvature of the left side of the front porch to rectangular versus round. Wrap-around.
No, that's not correct.
It's old.
That's old.
We passed it. We already
Lots.
passed that.
Okay. I had this one from last week. Or-
That's okay.
I think that's the correct one.
Miss it. Let me see what you have.
Didn't you think it's, I guess you think now, like, the rest of the brand? That is.
All right. Let me start. Easier, but it's saying a motion for all the colors in the back of the file. All in favor? Well, is there a difference between this and this? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so hang on to that, because if it's in this mess, I just ain't found. Yeah. Right. But this is the lighting is different.
Because she originally came in and was approved, and then she came back with another application, so you have probably two applications in.
All right, this one's dated 12, this one's dated 4. You just go with this, I don't see it. Probably the same. Respectfully requesting approval, 2-inch rails to replace the original 4-inch rails at the top of the constructed porch rails. Contractor was unable to replicate the rounding of the top rail. The original size is also. The original size is also available, but due to the added cost of reconstructing the detailed architectural porch, including the front skirt. Talking rooms for both ceiling and flooring of the porches, as well as rounding of the porch under cost has. Been astronomical, it's caused the project to be so far over budget. Originally expressed hardship, and original architecture made post extension to all. To the addition again, To what's the one?
Sorry, over.
It's okay. I would prefer to keep the rails. I mean, the previous rails. Okay. Then, as a result of going through the public, on that, if you're not aware, the farm is there for, also request that more trails be allowed to have 38-inch height as well. That was the original height of the demolished rails, and at the top, there was a replacement bridge of those using uniform protection. Okay, what we have for pictures? No exemption, no pets. So those are just the same pictures as we saw last week. What's the difference between the last time we were here and now?
So the last time I was here, I was told that the rounded rails were no longer in existence. But thanks to Commissioner Nardi, I found out that they are. And so those were delivered yesterday and they're currently installing them correctly. So I don't need a modification in terms of the rounded railings. What I do need to keep though is the 38 inches. And they did totally, they're totally redoing the design. Last time I was here, it was pointed out, which I didn't realize, that the designs were different. So now they're putting in the correct design as the target. Yes. So it will be redesigned to look like the top one.
Okay.
One of the issues that was raised by Commissioner last time was those little peach decoration, yes, and at the bottom as well. So they, which I had known, but I went and double checked. So they had to put the column, those are little pieces of wood that are just attached around. So they started doing that today as well. So everything should be according to that design.
Once they're going to keep the 30 something inches.
Yes, please,
Which is original.
which is the original,
Yep.
yes. And then a further request is because the side porch was also the same height in terms of rails. I just want to make sure to keep that uniformity with the side porch as well. So the side porch will look the same, except for that extravagant rounding, but it will have the same 38-inch rail and the rounding and all the decorative pieces.
So you got the contractor going back to what
Yeah.
you originally requested.
Yes.
No, that's right.
It's rounded,
Oh, so
Yes.
She got the.
yes, so,
And
yeah,
This is the
yeah.
part that was.
It was the railing, it was the part.
They, when he built it, kind of looked the same, but it was not.
But it
the
was
same.
not.
Right. And the height, for some reason, that height, lower that height just sticks in your crowd a little bit there, right? Yeah.
Sentimental.
Okay. There was some photograph that there was a set of rails was higher.
Right
On
there.
the left hand side.
Some, yep,
1979, but that's up
yep,
there.
the top one.
So if that was the case, then.
And I did check to make sure
that's-
that the bottom parts, the decorative pieces are actually the correct sizes. Because I sent in picture as well of the measurements I was taking, as well as I took the old piece of the decorative piece at the bottom and put it against the new ones to make sure.
Okay.
So they are the right height.
Now on there, we were talking about the bottom. Was there something that we wanted to put on the bottom rail too?
So on the bottom, you can see where there's two pieces on either side.
Like a thing, a piece there, to make it resemble that.
Whereas if you can see like the
Yeah.
the baluster is fits within something, whereas now it's sitting on top of it.
Right.
So are they gonna do that?
So I would hope they are, because they're modeling,
Okay.
they totally demolished. Can you bring this?
You see how
They-
the
That was one of the big asks. So
Yes.
Right.
So what we would ask from you is that would be part of it.
Yeah, but that's a fairly easy one.
You're talking about, you're talking about this base kicker plate.
Bottom, yes.
No,
No,
the top part, right
The
there.
white,
This
that
one.
part?
Yep, the upper, where it goes down inside, so it's in front of it instead of.
Yeah, no, that's.
Yeah, it's missing in that.
Okay, so the long pieces would be sitting in
Yes.
between, okay.
See the channel?
So,
It's like a channel, the channel, that's like a
Yeah.
channel.
yes,
Okay.
right now it's totally
Now,
gone except for the bottom piece.
where we're gonna. Material, this, a lot of this is the. That will be painted. or something.
And that was the other thing, is pressure treated, so it takes time to. obtain.
Can't paint it. Now, when
Yes.
they're rebuilding that, they should use a pressure treatment again.
I know that they started out with pressure treated, but that's because I had a lot of lumber that I bought previously and was just waiting on contractors. So that, I believe they used to build. Is it called?
Yeah.
Build, frame, whatever. I don't know. I didn't discuss what is currently used, but I know the wood that I had was pressure, majority was pressure treated, and they did use that for the framing and stuff underneath. And then bought additional lumber. What were you saying about painting or what was
You can't paint pressure treated right away, so.
And that's the age, that's the we,
Oh,
it's gotta dry out. Carry that.
So if this is approved, you guys can put a caveat that she paints.
Yes, essentially, painting will be required, yeah, that's appropriate tonight. I think.
so to clarify, so that includes the floor and ceiling, so.
Well, the question talking just about the rail.
Just
Oh,
the way-
okay.
yeah.
The floor, most often they do paint the floor. So they,
I kind of think it's beautiful.
yeah, well, I do too. And I know that a lot of old folks, they didn't get painted until we got older. Any other commissioners have any questions for the petitioner? Okay, so what we're looking at is the question is to leave it to 38 inches. But this is all gonna now be redone, fitting with the criteria from the first, except that the top, is the top gonna be a thinner rail? Or did they, you say they found that or just?
Whatever rail, Commissioner Nardi showed, I'm thinking that's where he got from.
Okay, so that's not, so it's 38 inches is the main thing.
The 38 inches is.
They're gonna be with the design of the original,
Yes.
in
so
the
they
same
did that.
manner as the original,
Yes,
and the floor is already done. And that's done. The done, floor was done correctly by our original approval, correct? Okay, and then the decorative on the top and the bottom is all, that's all
Yeah.
the original approval.
Yes.
It's all gonna be done
Yes.
on the original.
yes.
So,
And the rosettes, I want to say they're called rosettes.
Yeah.
I don't have a picture, but maybe the older picture does. There are some beautiful pieces that are on the top, yes. So we were able to save, those that they scraped. So those will be replaced once they're finished putting up the primary. And of course, one of my contractors stole the back pieces, so that's something I'll deal with when I go to the site. All of them are. So
yeah,
those, yes, those will be replaced. Yes.
okay, so today we're concerned with the allowing the rail like the states.
Right.
And just kind of reaffirming the construction technique of this. You know, if there's still any pressure treated wood there, it has to be sufficient. So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me open this up.
Before you, think, so I know from the experts. For the. Oh my gosh. Oh, do I have to come back for the painting? Or? No,
Well, it'll be in there, it's,
It would go
if you
just
don't paint
add
it,
Okay,
you might ask me why you're not painting.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And what's the general recommended time to paint, to wait before you paint?
That's right.
You need to start. Do we know what that is? We'll get to them.
Wow.
What's the recommended
Nice.
wait time before you paint?
Actually don't know.
Okay. I don't know, years. A year? That's what I thought. Yeah. At least 3 seasons. Yeah, so it'll be a while. We'll give you that amount of time. Okay, anything else you want to add? Okay, I'm gonna open this back up to public commentary. It's, if there's anyone here that wants to speak for or against the repairs to the 92 Buckingham Street gate and that's just described in the application. Go ahead, Harry.
Mary Sue Moore, I live at 68 Washington Road here in Springfield, and I just, I vote for it, and I want to just say that I'm very appreciative of the owner's attitude of excellence and honesty.
Amen to that. Thank you. Is anyone else would like to speak for or against?
Stephen Howard, you have no forward Lincoln Street. I definitely in favor of this.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close the public commentary and entertain a motion to accept the application for what's certificate of hardship. But I guess we could put it on that. Just because of some of the changes, certificate of hardship to maintain the trail height.
Well, actually,
It's okay.
Yes.
It doesn't change anything.
no,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, would that be appropriate?
Now, not the pressure trees. It wouldn't come with pressure trees, so that would be.
Okay.
Then the problems came back in front of us again, from the time I wanted to redo it, we'd still probably want to go back to original wood. The hardship is just gonna allow you to, some of the wood that got used to still be used.
Okay.
So you don't have to redo it again.
Okay.
But anyway, that's, okay, so somebody want to make a motion there, I think, I can't remember. So if anybody's got a grasp of that, make a motion, please. So,
So I make a motion that we approve the proposal presented to keep the railing heights at 38 inches with the rounded top rail. With the new proposed balusters to model the existing, the bottom channel to model the existing. And that's right after 3 seasons that all of what would be painted.
You say it in the action.
So
go ahead.
I said just say 1 year. Okay.
1 year, yeah, 1 year. Okay, so if we see seconded.
second,
Okay, is there any discussion on the motion? Anybody else, anything? Okay. We call the vote, Commissioner Nardi? Yes. Commissioner Judith Crowell?
yes.
Commissioner Rosen?
Yes.
Commissioner Walter Crowell? Yeah. Commissioner Walter, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for making the
God
effort.
bless. Thank you.
We appreciate that.
I love to learn and I learn.
More. Oh, wait, there's more. Wait, you have none. Okay, takes care of that. We have some news. I'm gonna actually move the preservation agreement up on Byers Street, 90 organization Spire Street replacement is up into where to this now. I guess there was a site visit, if someone can fill us in on while the site visit went. This is go ahead, Alan.
Can you remember?
We made a site visit, we were shown that there were some existing windows still in place. There was a new window that you could see from the porch. And there were some, let's call them decorative windows that were not going to be replaced on the north side of that particular unit. You can see them
Yeah, I got you.
there.
So from the front, there's one replacement window to the left of the front door.
To the left.
Everything else in the front is an original window.
Correct. Right. And that replacement window that was put in is a tilt-in window. And the buttons are not. The buttons are not on the exterior. Buttons. The one at the center, come back to one in the center of the picture was the replacement window that they are asking to use. For the existing windows. The storm window is on that.
Storm windows on all of them?
Most of them, yes.
Most, there are a couple that are not, but the question was, and I wasn't clear when we were there. Are we planning to requesting that the storm windows be removed?
No, they're staying.
They're gonna stay. So what we will see is exactly what you see in that previous picture.
Right.
On the porch.
Is there any, are any of the windows savable? Deteriorated that much that none of them are? None of them will barely open and.
They're not operable.
Did you that me up a second? Did you give your name that? Pablo, everybody, Pablo? Yeah.
It's out of civilization.
Yeah. I mean, the window's hard to open, doesn't mean it's not repairable. That's just a repair. If the frames are solid, glass can be replaced, but our first, in historic preservation, the first thing is a legitimately repairable window should be kept.
Well, I did not.
So I'm not sure. Sometimes we find that they just are not legitimately repairable.
If you go back a couple shots there, so those channels go forward one place. So it looks like the original is already there. Someone's replaced the channels.
Yeah.
And they may or may not have insulated in the cavity, but
I think we saw two.
we saw a couple like that where somebody had made them usable, right? They got rid of the weights to make it more usable and put some channels in. So most of the women we saw, I mean, we can check every window, most of them look like they operate. There were a couple that had broken glass panes. Just about all of them had exterior screens. The replacement windows over there, one was in the front next to the porch, the other four were actually in the back, from the rear of the building. Or residence.
So the weights in the rows are gone.
That's the assumption, because they have the channels so that the windows can slide up and down. I mean, that's what we used to do to make it more usable and have less weather, have less weather come through.
Was it the weights out?
Yeah. Right.
So they're spring loaded side. Those are it.
Have you looked into repairing this? It's just it's terrible.
The owner just opted to get them replaced.
Was the owner here last week?
No.
In general, we don't usually approve just by the government's. May find on another replacements. Hopefully, I mean, I'm gonna ask, since I wasn't there, I'm gonna ask commissioners that were there, just give their opinions for this. Because, I mean, there are cases where it's clear that we need something.
My opinion is that I think the window sash
Yeah,
in the system that it uses to glide into that it's possibly repairable. But they would have to. They would have to first loosen it up, and then they would have to maybe replace the spring loaded. Yeah, side areas, but the sash themselves were not rotted. They weren't to the point where you couldn't do it. You would have to scrape, clean, stain, everything. Agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. Most of them are in good shape. Usually if you find that the south of your water gets in, but it's the storms were there, they protected a lot of it.
And the worst, the glass seemed to be in place.
In this preservation agreement. Not alters. I'm inclined, although this goes to the vote, this is not. Anything that's not. But I'm inclined I would be inclined to not approve this. Because it feels like the windows are repairable. And, but that's why you need to look at it. It's, without even more very specific. Evidence or proof that the windows can't be repaired, especially if even the storms on the outside.
Well,
The storms stay, if you have good storms on the outside, you can restore those windows.
you need to take your time.
You're taking time to do them, because it's not there, but, that's my opinion, like the second, any other commissioners have any opinion on this? Hearing none, let me, is it a public, yeah? This one, or no?
We have.
So,
Yeah,
it's up to you whether you know.
yeah, let's do it again. Anyway, I'm gonna open this up to public commentary. Anybody would like to speak for or against this application for 9496 Fire Street to replace the windows with vinyl, like windows?
Yeah, David Gaby. 1105 Worthing Street, speaking as a preservation. I would very much suggest that. We have many good people that are watching too many television commercials about, let's replace your.
I'm sorry, this is if you don't have, there's no suggestions. You can just say if you're for or against. And then you can talk to him after the hearing if.
Chair to Attorney Screwchuck, that is
Adjust
through the chair to Attorney Screwchuck, that is incorrect, and we will talk about that, the procedure at another time. However, this application should not be approved because it is not, it would be in conflict with the restriction.
Thank you. Anybody else? For or against? Okay. Hearing none, I'm going to close the public commentary, entertain a motion to accept the application for a certificate of preservation agreement at 9496 Fire Street. Replace the double hung windows to white vinyl. So,
Second,
okay, is there any discussion on that motion?
Yeah, just for clarity, David brought it up, but can you talk about the historic agreement? What governs that, that was really.
Well, they have to, at some point, they have to into a preservation agreement for probably any of the restrictions as described below. And the Massachusetts general law just describes the property.
Yeah, but what's the restriction?
It's on the
Exterior.
yeah, any exterior. Exterior and grounds, all portions of the house visible from the public way, and all portions of the ground between the front foundation line and the extension thereof of the street. The owner shall maintain the property in its regulated conditions as approved by the historic commission as shown in the photographs. It's this one relative to another restoration.
I think it's important to be.
And this motion is to accept it. And any other commissioners, anything? No, okay. We call the vote. Commissioner Nardi,
No.
Commissioner Judith Kroll,
yes.
Commissioner Zerzi,
Yes.
Commissioner Walter Kroll,
No,
and Commissioner Walsh. We can't approve that. That was one of those in that paper for that purpose. Mainly because it has very specific action.
Do you know that?
Swear. Okay, some new hearings, 186 Belmont Avenue. Yeah, how are you?
Good. Hello. Dan Rodriguez. I live on Maplewood Terrace, but that's not the property.
No, that's your, where we want, where you live.
Okay, that's what I'm Maplewood Terrace. I brought 3 copies. I didn't really knock on.
It's okay, that's your. This is an application for certificate of non-applicability. Replacing kind back stair located in the angle building not visible from the street, no changes in design. Is that no changes in design and material?
I'll get into that.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
take us through.
So this is a building here. You see the 4 pictures. It's a 8-unit apartment building on Belmont Ave. In the back of the building, you've got the existing structure, and there are larger pictures in the back, okay, of the same thing. And we're replacing the entire structure there. It's just time, we've reached the end of its useful life. It's currently pressure treated. We're gonna replace it with pressure treated. The only change I am planning on doing is putting Trex on decking itself, the stairs and the decking, and then we'll stain the whole thing brown.
What kind of decking does it have now?
It's got pressure treated.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and the reason why we're saying it's not applicable is you can't see it from the street. You got 3 visitors there. And I've added, additional information here for your records. The property is owned by Kevin Sears. He signed off and to speak for him. The basis for the non-applicability is ordinary maintenance repair replacement. And you cannot see it from the streets.
So the new one will work exactly like that.
No, better.
Other than fresh.
The press, yes, just like that, and
Is that visible from any street?
I don't think so.
Right there, it's western Blue Street.
Okay. So it doesn't take, sometimes,
okay.
sometimes petitioners aren't sure how far they go.
Okay,
That's
that's good. Okay, thank you, Jordan. That's a good point. I hadn't thought.
The other point is more clear that this, it's the same material, same stuff, same design, same area, nothing's changing. This thing on that deck right now.
Yes, this is the floor.
It's good. Except for the switching. Yes.
This Trex that you're finding is a kind of wood Trex in it.
Yeah, it's a butt joint, and the thing is, I'm going with that. Originally, we were gonna go with pressure treated, but Trex is better as far as staining. I don't have to stain it, and I don't have to keep staining it, and it lives longer, it looks better. That's so. If the issue, if you don't want, not that it's even visible, but if that was the issue, then we'll go back to PT and stuff like that.
I'll just need to know what's gonna be.
It's just about saving.
That's a change in material, and if there's a change in material, we have to at least address it. It has to be spoken about.
Yeah. I think ultimately, long term, I say with that, because I don't have to change. I think, yeah, it looks better long term.
So the change in material will also change the category. It will fall under equipment.
Okay. Well, if that's an issue, we can, I can leave it.
Well, it's not applicability would mean you're replacing everything exactly with the same material, the same design, about a single change, it would be not applicability. I don't think appropriateness is gonna hurt this, because I think under our guidelines, we certainly try to replace it exactly the way it is right now, and same as here. So all you're asking for is Trex instead of pressure treating. I don't personally have a problem with that. So we just have to address it. Sure. So I'm gonna switch this to appropriate.
Okay,
I'm gonna have you admit.
okay.
Definitely a little busy, you won't be.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, maybe I'm not speaking out of turn, let the commissioner, go ahead.
No, I agree with you in that. From that street view where you can see it, it's actually 12 feet tall, every single floor.
No, it's just, and it's a profile view. You're just seeing it from the side. So
Yeah, I should just. There, initially, next to that, check. That's it.
Same thing. You got two backs.
So actually, you did this, I'm sorry, I really did that. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Okay, let me open this up to public commentary. Does anyone here like to speak for or against this application for certificate of appropriateness to replace in kind of back, actually located behind the building at 186 Belmont, with the only change being from the floorboards being Trex. Anybody for or against?
Stephen, what do you have? No, what do you think in favor?
Thank you very much. Anybody else for or against? David?
This looks like it's an appropriation.
It should be considered approved. Thank you very much.
And I guess I would, an intro. I would-
Okay, I'm gonna close the public, anybody else, hold on, let me just, anybody else? No. Close the public commentary, go ahead.
Yeah, you're talking about changes. I have to double check the handrails do not meet today's code, obviously, I have a grippable handrail. Because it's just, I believe it's 2x4.
Yeah.
So I'll change that, have to be in code. Or if you prefer, I can keep it the way it
No,
was.
I don't think committee will have a problem with, I mean, this is a,
It's not. visible
that's
to the
what's
street.
up there now.
Yeah, that's when you put up the picture of that. It'd be a code issue.
Yeah, I think you're right, I hadn't brought it up, it's not, in my mind, it doesn't, it's no impediment to what you're doing. It's gonna be new porches, they're gonna look virtually the same from any distance away, except you're gonna have I don't know if it would be required for a handrail now.
So the
I
handrail,
know they-
it has to be a grippable handrail. So, you know, like when you're going down the stairs. So, you know, and today's handrails, when you can't put a 2x4 like that, basically, so, and we won't. We'll be doing.
Anything else?
I mean, the guardrail is fine, it's the handrails going down the stairs.
We have some. Any other questions from commissioners? Okay, I entertain a motion to accept the application for a certificate of appropriateness to replace the back deck of 186 Belmont. It said no changes in design, material, except Trex decking and the handrails and grippable. Second. Any discussion on that motion? Here. Hearing no discussion, when we call the vote, Commissioner Judith Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Zorzi,
Yes.
Commissioner Walter Kroll. Yes. Commissioner Walsh, yes, Commissioner Nardi.
Yes.
Okay, that's-
Thank you. And then, exactly, for speaking out of turn before on pressure cheated, I didn't have, or I should have done that. And not that I'm an expert on it, but they say it's 4 to 6 months.
Oh, no, I thought, no.
With our seasoning. It's
Good.
here and.
You've been doing this, you probably have more experience.
Yeah.
I know more than me, so it doesn't matter. You don't
Thank you.
apologize for offering assistance, like, thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, that's 133 Long Hill. We'll give your name to that,
My name is Dmitry Mazalevsky. I live in 23 London Drive. Surgery City, 23 Sun Wall, Westfield Street, West Springfield.
This is the. Okay, this is an application for certificate of hardship, 133 Long Hill Street, strip the old slate roof, install proper underlay, install certainty asphalt shingles, grand manner, color date, slate. Okay, what do we have? We must have some pictures. I'm not concerned about that. This is a pretty big building, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is all going, or are you just trying to fix part of it?
All of it, yeah. Try to. Try to take it apart to see it's just all the part of the state, so.
Like the city touches, like.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're, talking to contractors to possibly take it apart carefully. Fix it up.
Street view is very weird, so for some reason, when you put the address, it shows the interior of it, so.
Oh, really?
So if you go a little bit.
Why is it looking like
So they-
Yeah, it looked like they had something. So like green. Something's got blocking it for some reason.
Yes.
There you go.
That's a shame.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
what?
Shriners.
I didn't
Yeah,
realize
Shriners.
it was the Shriners building.
Did you get any estimates on site repair?
Yeah, we have it here. Yeah. We also have a sample. So it's very similar to the.
Some are more closely resembled, it's like this is. Yeah, that's not, that's numbers, that's not.
Yeah, that's what-
There's no names, there's no contractors, nothing. But I don't doubt it,
It's definitely more than double.
but. I mean, somebody. So you know, there's like. People that I really remember. But I don't, those actually sound reasonable from just my minimal experience at Slate. In the cost to do it in. This sort of solar,
So.
this must be a strip plywood, everything
Exactly.
underneath.
Yeah, there's no plywood and no insulation also, so we have to do none of that. Yeah. Yeah, so especially at the valleys, we just leaks everywhere.
Yeah, okay. Commissioner, any questions for John? Questions? Go ahead.
So what's gonna happen to the old slate?
We haven't really discussed it with, I mean, with the contractor, and I think they would just tear it down.
Well, you can usually sell them for a good amount of money to slate replacement companies. So you can.
Yeah, that's what he mentioned to us, so that's why when we went up there, he went up there, we try to, see, take it apart, it would just fall apart, so I mean, I don't know how much you would.
This is right, but you could save yourself some money. Because there are a lot of houses in the area that need.
Donor, yeah.
Yes.
They would have been matching this color because it was out of the state.
Yeah.
Are there any buildings on the property other than that flat roof that have,
My garage next to it, yeah,
oh, is that still Slate?
yes. So we're asking for approval for that as well. Some of those floors are from the garage actually.
Mhm.
The ceilings collapsed on.
Good news for us is what happens on the inside. It's just what it looks like.
Yeah.
And the replacement from the outside. Any other commissioners have, it's just straightforward request. It's not a straightforward vote.
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
It's not.
I've seen the GAF slate line.
Yeah.
Which is,
The purple line,
you know,
yeah.
which is very. Close. Probably less expensive than this one. But it's interesting.
Yeah, we're trying to get as close as we could.
Yeah, did you look at that other? I mean, the one
The
you're
other one's
saying,
about GAF slate line, it actually looks, to me, because this is several pieces on top of it.
Okay.
So this is actually probably heavier than. But it's also an absorption.
GL.
GAF.
when is this project supposed to?
As soon as possible.
You know,
Yeah, in a few months.
you were supposed to do that a couple of.
Yeah.
Well, all right, let me ask you this, would you? Can you? I mean, our next meeting is 2 weeks.
Mhm.
If we can continue to 2 weeks, but give you a chance to just look at other, I'm inclined, and this is what I said, everybody gets told, but I'm inclined to be okay, because it's the cost of that is just crazy. And, but I think people will come in front of us and show us the other kind of shingles, maybe more, at least check the price and at least know for a distance. They look good too. But I think you should do a little more research and check the shingles out.
But the GAF maybe discontinued.
Oh, okay, well,
Oh,
so is that okay if we continue for 2 weeks to give you a chance to look at different shingles, let us know?
I mean, we looked into several options. This is what people, this is the best option. Maybe that's why, because he never mentioned it to us. Maybe that's because it's discontinued.
Okay, all right, well, if nobody makes that motion, then we won't do that. In the meantime, I have to, is there anything else you guys want to add?
That's it.
We do have a letter for this one.
We do, when we give the time.
Public comments,
Public commentary, right? I'm gonna open the public commentary, but I'm gonna read one first and add it in first, and then I'll open it to the people who are here, like to speak for or against. This is hello, Evan. This letter in regard to the public hearing, 133 Long Hill Street, replacement roof slate asphalt, they on with, it's not really, but it's an opinion of this. And then 134 Long Hill, directly across the street from 133, the house at 133 is gorgeous, and slate roof adds so much to its beauty and historical significance. I believe that replacing the roof with asphalt would highly distract from this. I believe that maintaining the slate roof would be the best way to keep the house as historically reading as possible. My previous house had a slate roof that was well over 100 years old. In the 30 years I lived there, the upkeep on the roof totaled about $1,000, and I never had it. So I wish my house now had a slate roof. Thank you for hearing me out. I appreciate it sincerely. I'm Siobhan Silver. This is 13 Old South Street, Massachusetts. Is there anyone else who would like to speak for or against this? David Davies?
Yes, 1105 Worthington Street, speaking as a person who's writing about, who's just finished one slate repair job and is about to start another one. I don't think that enough research has been done here to suggest to me that the roof is unsalvageable. I agree with the letter writer. This is important.
Okay, thank you very much, David. Anyone else like to speak for or against?
Stephen Hogan, Terminal for Whittington, in favor.
Okay. Anybody else? Barry, Joey? No for or against? Okay. We'll close the public commentary. Any commissioners have any other questions? Is there any potential desire to continue for more information? No. Nobody? Okay, I entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of hardship. 133 Long Hill Street, the hardship being financial. Strip the old slate roof, install proper and then install asphalt shingles, granite and color gatehouse slate as shown to the commission. Second. Any discussion on the motion? And we call the vote. Commissioner Judith Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Zorzi,
Yes.
Commissioner Walter Cole. Yes. Commissioner Walsh, yes. Commissioner Nardi. Commissioner Nardi.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I agree. Very hesitantly. I mean, part of me wanted, I was hoping somebody made the motion, they got 2 weeks to just negotiate a little bit on it. Well, but we just passed it, so we can't,
We'll look into it.
I mean, we capped it for you with it.
Yeah, okay.
Now, the thing is, now if you find another shingle that you think's more appropriate, you gotta come and ask.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
well, because it's hard to lose a roof like that, because that's a beautiful house, but the cost is so overwhelming. And, you know, I believe it's a legitimate hardship, the roof is that big. So you got it.
Okay, thank you.
And I hate that you have it. Because you know, roofs, the buildings are beautiful. Thank you, folks. Take care. Okay, 355 Maple. How you doing?
Rob Decker, Village Farmhouse.
This is an application for certificate appropriate, this is 355 Maple Street, installation of rooftop solar system. Panels. When I see a permission, did I see a permission email or somewhere? I don't have everybody's letter about. Okay, good, thank you. Looks like that. Yeah, looks like that. Okay. We just, you know, for you to do it, you have to have authorization. So fill us in. I don't think they have much about anything.
So they're proposing to take 4 different arrays, 1 on the garage and then 3 on the home. From the back side of the home and also in the garage. You can see it when you're going, how the direction is of that.
Can you?
When you're going north on George, you can see it on the garage. Stop and see it.
Okay. That's George Street. What street, Maple Street's in the front? All right. So they're all good, those will all be in the back. Where's all the mechanicals gonna be?
Mechanical's gonna be on the left of the home.
Oh, okay.
And
Can we get a front view of that so we can see what the left side looks like?
there's a lot of trees and such over there.
Because I don't think, if you're not in front of us.
Yeah.
Yes, just minimal visibility,
Yeah.
all we're after.
Yeah.
Minimal visibility. And, and we're optimistic in the years, next few years, there'll be better shingles and stuff like that that are, less visible, but still, because the identity issue would not go away. Okay. Okay. And now we have. So from there, you almost see nothing. Back to the.
I couldn't see anything.
And then do we have a view from the George Street side? I know you will, I just want to get a peek from the back side. Oops, that's right there, yeah. Yeah, it's, okay. Now.
And in the conduit, and that new conduit that will run, have a, run. Painted, and such.
Right, but now on the,
If it's possible, I want to do that with the attic.
okay, is there any chance we can know ahead of time where it's gonna go in the attic or not?
I'm pretty sure it's not gonna go in there, but they get it. For the, they'll have it going from the top of the roof to the other section and go down once.
Right.
And
I'll look across the top of the roof.
they mount it to the roof, off the conduit, right?
Are they able to color that dimension?
They could. They haven't done that in the past.
Yeah, we've almost never, in fact, this will be the first one we've ever had, but
In the past,
The roads you've done, we've put conduits either
in
in the attic, it goes all the way down.
they're able
or
to run it in the
It
attic.
comes on the side, it's painted simple like that. I can't remember the one that kind of goes over.
Right.
well, never over time.
Over that, right,
I mean, we know that at some point, somewhere, this has to come out.
It's gotta come out.
Come down on the. Some, and that will be the conduit that can be painted to match the house.
That'll be on the left side of the home.
Yeah, so my only concern is conduit on the roof, because even in a house that's not historic in any way, when I see the panels and I see it's like just a silver conduit. Going across the roof just sticks out, it probably isn't a deep for here.
So we'll have your, the conduit be in the attic, and if it's not, have the conduit painted, to match the color. If they have conduit that's exposed.
And if we had a better, do you have another rendering, something that's more of a close-up rendering of it?
Have you been in the attic? It looks like there's enough space.
Oh, if it's finished, there, that's when it gets hard. But
Typically, there's still a ceiling above.
here, that's right.
There's always a space. It's just a matter of how big that space is. There's always gonna be a wall space or that space.
Okay, right there, just hold right that right there, and just enlarge that for me. And move it. Okay, I'm just looking at, somehow, because if you're connecting looking at it crooked on the right side to the left side, then to the two panels on the, at least if that was able to go somehow through the attic and not show up on the roof, that would be. It sounds small, but if it were a shining thing up there that just stuck up every time someone's driving by. So, I mean, we could make, the motion could be that the conduit is, connected conduits.
So typically, when there's been a proposal like this. How are these both, how's the rear garage going to connect to the front rack? There's gonna be an underground trench. To connect conduit on there.
Yep, so you keep that great, got it, yep, perfect. So that's fairly clean. fairly close. If, I'm gonna ask that the motion be made to Catholic. If you find you cannot do that at all. If you find it out, so, okay, just figure something else out. You know, could it be that, whatever, the upgrade is Catholic, some kind of other, could be, we can't do either or. Okay, one, we prefer. We've had so many solar companies now getting kind of what we're looking for, they come in, almost when they look at it, they prepare to make it less visible. So, but I think I have enough information. Let me open this up to public commentary. It might have anything else there. No, we're good. Okay. I'd like to open this application for certificate of appropriateness for Maple Street for installation of rooftop solar system. Anybody for or against? I'd like to speak for or against. David.
Because before, I feel that there's been too much. From the commission has been too permissive with this, and this is another, example where I haven't heard any alternative being presented as other ways to get solar.
So this is a no.
This is a no, and I suggest that the commission require some alternatives for how much would the community participation in community solar
That happens as versus part of the meeting.
versus this.
Okay. Thank you, David. Anybody else for or against? Hearing none, I'll close the public commentary. I entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of appropriateness for Maple Street for installation of rooftop solar system. And it's at 355 Maple Street. In internal conduit. So we're connected conduit. Yeah.
So conduit is not visible on the roof.
No, there you go. Conduit not visible on the roof. Yeah, and the conduit down to the mechanical paintable to match the color.
Vertical turn.
All right. Any discussion on that? No, that is, I'm just a little, where they're putting that. The meter socket's already there, so that's gonna be, are they have put in the.
I'm not certain.
Okay. Because if that changes too, you gotta come. You know, before you.
If you,
No, they change where it's already.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Any changes from what we just talked about, they have to come back. Okay, anybody else? Where did I leave? Oh, didn't?
Yeah.
Motion made, seconded.
We're doing a second?
Yeah. Sorry, we got motion, second. With the, and, okay, discussion, no further discussion. I think I'm starting with Commissioner Zorzi.
Yes.
Commissioner Walton.
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh, yes. Commissioner Nardi.
Yes.
Commissioner Duda.
Yes.
Keep in mind, whenever you're looking at one of these, keep in mind and what we're looking for. Minimum visibility.
Well.
Okay, 115 Garfield Street, thank you too. Super. Okay, now you know what we want, talk to us. All right, okay, I gotta read this first. Application for certificate of appropriation, 115 Garfield Street. Installation of photovoltaics, which is big. Let's start it. Okay, talk to us about this.
So this one here, we're installing 20 panels, 3 arrays. You see the two arrays that are on the front lawn coming up the street. But you don't see the ones in the back.
Yeah.
And,
We'll get that from the street here.
yeah. One side of the home. That one right
That one,
there. Yeah,
okay, the equipment's gonna be there.
it's on the front, the home right there. It's
Where you see it, can you just zoom in on that?
right there.
Down a little bit. A little
Down,
more.
a little more, right there.
You can see it.
This is
No,
here.
that's awful.
Looks like a billboard.
But you know what, we can't, it's not gonna be any worse.
So the inverter is gonna go to the left of that, window on the left side, the
it's gonna go to the left of the next one.
next window to the left.
Oh, okay, in the corner.
Exactly.
So the conduit will come down in the middle there with something that could be colored probably. And the same, we're asking for the same on the roof that. In the conduit be. That as much as possible. So that looks. That must have a new roof since this picture.
It may need some repair.
Cause I know you don't like putting them on roofs. so-
Right. Definitely, it was right here.
I mean, that looks, pretty rough. But that's not part of it, but if they want to have to change the roof, they gotta come.
Came back, took that kind of new roof on.
Yeah, they gotta mark it, so that's gonna happen. Is there any, just tell us anything else on this one, think you can make the minimal visibility, I mean, in the
Yes.
street, it's gonna be what it is. In the conduit. You have, as I see, okay. You know, you have a few in the back there that you might see, because that's where I've seen it before, where they're running it out, running down the green line with the ship or right. So that's about it, that's fairly straightforward. Stop panels. What percentage is that for the house? Not that, that's any.
17.7%.
Not even the generation. Of their report. Some people come in and say this will generate not an average 92% of their electrical.
I don't know about the. Let's go over it, but
Yeah,
really, so I'm not sure they know.
you also, it's not, there's nothing I needed to know.
$6, 60,000 dollars.
I just thought there was a lot of panels and I thought maybe it'd be a lot of juice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's communicating. Any other questions or commissioners? No? You're not, this one up to public commentary. Anybody here would like to speak for or against the application of the appropriateness to install rooftop photovoltaic solar system at 115 Garfield Street?
I like to be required the same.
Okay, thank you. David is not in favor of this application. Anybody else? For or against?
No, I didn't favor.
We have one in favor. Okay, thank you. Anybody else? So we'll close the public commentary. I'd like to take a motion to accept the application for certificate of appropriateness at 115 Garfield Street to install rooftop photovoltaic solar system with no conduit visible, no visible conduit on the roof.
And vertical conduits coming down the side painted to match the vertical front.
That's the motion. So, there's a second on that motion?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion on it? Hearing none. Okay. Commissioner Walker? Yes. Commissioner Zosey?
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh? Yes. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Judith?
Yes.
Excellent, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Richard Flowers Parks.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's all. For the record.
Beautiful. Everybody, look at me. You were just thinking,
No response?
oh, no, sorry. Okay, we have removed the preservation agreement one earlier. We have discussion expansion of the McKnight local historic district. I believe this is David who wants to talk about this. David?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I believe we have a letter from Mrs. Adams.
Yes. That one?
That's
from Mr. Rao. Derek Rao.
There's one from Jennifer Rowe as well, that's to mention.
There. This is the only one here, like it's on.
Yes.
One from Mr. Adams, one from Mrs. Adams. Did you say we have two on?
Okay. Well, this is been buried somewhere.
I didn't see it in our packet. Anywhere.
I know you called and told me you were gonna have to come up with a substitute meeting.
Yeah, that's. Okay, this is the discussion,
You sent it to Evan.
Not
I don't even remember getting it. Right.
I don't think so. I think it's something to do.
Discussion can be limited on time.
I think it's gonna take longer than this one meeting. I need to submit this petition to staff. I'll read it.
Okay, because we can't, that has to go to staff, that can't go to us. So I think under the discussion, you might want to just give us the talking points about what you are gonna.
Okay, and there's several people here that you should speak.
Well, when we go to public speak,
Okay, the essence of this is that at the time when this commission created the borders for the McKnight Local Historic District, those borders were limited at the time because many people were concerned about the opposition that had occurred in Forest Park. Well, this is 1975, different time. And the state had come back and said that they wanted to make sure to include Westminster Street, Buckingham Street, and Thompson Street because it's down to state. So the reaction of the commission and the state was to, at that time, exclude the College Street section of the neighborhood as well as the other sections of opposite on the other side of Bay Street and on the around Magazine Park. So we have a situation then where the National Registry District was expanded in the 1980s. And it was expected at that time, from Commissioner Super active at the time, that the local district would be expanded also, but it never happened. So we now have a situation where we have, in effect, two classes of residents or homeowners in McKnight, some of whom are in the local district, some of whom are not. And we have a newly aggressive group of people called flippers who have large sums of money to come in and make major changes to structures that we didn't have 30 years ago. And we also have the city of Springfield, which is literally telling people, no, you're not a historic house. Do whatever you want. Outside the historic district, as I brought to this commission several times in the past. Now, we now have a situation there, and in that context, 43 Berkeley Street was demolished by the city, which could have been saved. 125 Yale Street, they refused to accept the permit. We had a mortgage approved person ready to repair the building. They wouldn't allow it. And now we have a situation on Princeton Street. Now, so in that context, we also have people who have homes that would otherwise be eligible for CPA grants who cannot apply because it's restricted to the local district. It's become an inequity, and I'm suggesting that it's time that we create a study committee and carry out the study and move forward to expand the boundary.
well, that's, if you undertake a study like that, it certainly is okay with us. What I don't want anything that went wrong already, but it has not really technically nothing to do with moving forward. Because we can't undo it. So focus on the advantage of what happens.
What we want to do is make sure it doesn't happen again.
Focus on the advantages moving forward.
Moving-
The things you might have
Moving
happened
forward,
in the past.
well, there's a mix of both, Chair. In the future, if we were to pass this, number one, when funds are made available for restoration of homes, folks on Yale Street, Princeton Street, Lafayette Street, where the neighbors made the strongest support in the 70s for having a historic district. In the neighborhood, that was the strongest support, would not be excluded, whereas they are now. In addition, in the future, when a house becomes subject to code enforcement, the city would not be allowed to demolish it with the same alacrity without coming to this commission, because right now I could name numerous situations where the commission was not consulted, even though they should have probably been under environmentalist impact.
Well, if they're not under any historic protection, the only coverage now is the demo delay at 75 years.
But if they're in the National Register District,
Then they have a different.
but they're not getting it because it's not convenient. So the Habitat House, for instance, Habitat was donated a house, just like the one on Sumner Avenue. They were donated a house on Bay Street. They made the condition that the donor demolished the house. They went in, got a permit, demolished the house, corner of Bay Street and Brown Street, demolished the house. No one said demolition delay. No one did anything.
When was that?
About 2 years ago.
That's what I say 2 years.
So in that context, in addition to that, if we can unify the treatment of the district, then we can start raising funds to say, for instance, that there's a house, and I'm thinking of particularly on the corner of Princeton Street and St. James Avenue, which used to have beautiful railings, which we call volutes, so they come out horizontally and get scooped down like this. It was an ornament to the neighborhood, just like the slate roof we were talking about. We could go and ask for restoration that we can't now.
Okay. I mean,
So-
there's obviously there's valuable, there's real reasons to have a historic.
Should I contribute this to staff?
Yeah, you can, because we can't admit this as a document to our meeting right now. We're not in we're not in public hearing right now. They don't have to be entered into anything right now. I wouldn't mind seeing it out there. But I want to make sure they have it. The key is, what are the positive points? And, I know I slow you down sometimes, but because nobody knows more about what went wrong than you do. And sometimes I want you to focus on the positive things of what you're trying to accomplish instead of what happened to a house that we can't bring back. So that's why I was doing it. So you're asking for that. Okay. I mean, we can't address it today because it has to go out in the way holidays do.
When we started discussing the house on Princeton Street, which incidentally we heard from the family that owns it today, right? And they're interested in preserving. Just, when we started talking with people, we found there's a lot of people in the community who have been here for a long time and remember their families being part of the historic district organizing.
Yeah.
And, they've been wondering why they've been left out.
It's just for the record, Commissioner Pearl, thank you, Ray.
Yeah,
Judy Kroll.
Yes.
Commissioner Judith Paul. Okay, go ahead.
So, we're asking that the commission consider it. We're not sure, considering that the research was already done for the National Register District, and already approved by National Park Service. We're not sure what the procedures are as far as the level of study. I spoke with the man who did the initial research, and he thinks it's probably pretty much ready to go. It should be something you should consider.
So what I that's the I'll submit a request to the department to because of some of these things where I've already happened before, but they are just to review it. See what happens. For years, I thought those three of those streets were before I was in the commission. I thought they were historic streets, so a lot of people do. Problem is, some people know they're not, and they do things to the houses that you lose control of. So I understand that. I understand the money thing too. I think it's advantageous if somebody can get money to do something for their property. But that will take study and that will take some time. I mean, this is a different than the last couple we've had where people who own property said we want to protect them. This is one where the consensus level neighborhood counts, where people, can't be just, because I think it should be, it has to be a consensus of everybody that becomes involved. So that'll take some time. And I'm not sure quite, well, I'll talk to Alan about it next week and see where the starting line is. I think for me, it's with the legal department. And just to we have been trying to streamline it, well, not streamline it, but make sure we do it things.
Now this has been brought to the McKnight Neighborhood Council.
It was discussed, it's actually in the plan that was adopted by Region PDC for the neighborhood, if I remember right.
It's in our tender one. It's in the tender.
That's what I heard.
Well, we will, have no problem talking to people. You give that information to them. I'm not sure how it would come up on their agenda again. What would be the first step on our agenda?
As I remember, yeah, as I remember, there's a study, there's a study that has to be done. That study then has to be sent to Mass Historical for their comment.
The study part is gotten in the way a few times. They have somebody's qualified to do it. But so that could slow us down a bit.
That, how that study happens, I think we should be ready to talk about the next meeting.
I can tell you something about it right now. Just the generalities, not relative to that, because we did pass where the study has to be funded by people requesting the district. If it's there's a cost,
That's a requirement
or cost for a study. Studies are required. The definition of study is where we're wrestling with things right now. What constitutes a study? But our position today, not on this, just in general, because we don't have the answer exactly, hopefully read with the guy. But we did, something came before us how long ago?
as far as what the district.
About a study, a study.
So that was maybe last fall.
Yeah, it had to be, even maybe a little while, it was a while ago. And we did take a vote that you said that whatever the cost was had to be borne by the people bringing the study, bringing forward the request for the study.
Okay, that means you know what the study is, you want to have some.
Look that up for me, or actually look at that, and we can look that up for me, not now, because you can't really, I'm speaking in generalities, not specifics. But I would love to see how that, what the wording of that was, so I'll remember. Sure.
So we're concerned, our concern is, not that we're opposed to that, but we want to know what the definition of the study process,
Exactly.
considering
Right.
that it's already National Registered District.
Exactly why I want to talk to other people.
Right.
Because this is in a different position. It has some designations that already exist. And because the study thing is kind of a critical component, I've got to talk to legal and make sure we do it correctly. But you know what? I have the data, I'm not opposed to anything that's in front of us right now. It just has to be done correctly. That the neighborhoods have to have their proper notification, the proper hearing, and the proper information. And we can go from there. It's not a bad thing. You know?
There's a lot of people that like to see that.
Well, what I don't want to do is do something that.
We have to know what the legal process is, you know, we need to know what the city process
Let me
is.
work on that.
And the process for over the years.
Yeah, I don't think we could put it on in the next meeting, but maybe next month we'll see if we, even if we just get to an update under other matters, and like one that I have, maybe two. But, go ahead, Commissioner.
So I just want to suggest that commissions really can't support a study or having the study done. I would imagine the last legal, unless it's a public hearing, to hear what the support is for it.
Well, there are steps, right, that's correct, but part of it is, you study,
Yeah, there's people who are interested in the study, but they may be other homeowners who are not.
no, that's exactly what we're wrestling with. He just summed it up really well for us.
I just, when I say expedite, I'm talking about making sure we do those steps.
Right. So I would suggest that we gave that information now, but I would you could scan that and send me a copy of it. I have no problem putting it on. I'd rather wait like a couple months under discussion to see what I can find out, so I can leave it between the attorney should shut while others and just to make sure that, because that's where the glitch is. The study part is part of the thing we're trying to resolve, especially since it's now somebody's got to pay for it. So anyway, that's where we are. You just come, ask to talk about it again. I'd like you to give us a couple months before we talk about it again. If we get an update sooner than that, I'll put it on there. Yeah. Just for information.
So it's just want to mention, I spoke to Shannon Walsh.
Yeah.
And she was the one that suggested that the existing material should be updated as part of the process.
Okay.
And I'm not arguing, I'm just.
No, I don't disagree.
Conveying that that's what was.
I don't disagree at all. I just want to talk to that gentleman right there first. And maybe that gentleman right there, these two guys, and we'll talk, I'll get with them in the next couple of weeks. And if I get a reasonable follow-up information for you, I will have it, so watch it. And if not, give us a couple of months, and if you haven't heard anything, just have to put it on, just under discussion again, so we can update each other. Okay?
Want to hear from people?
Well, if that, we're all done with that one right now, then, thank you, David.
If-
Anybody-
if-
Yes,
If we're doing public commentary, Alvin, can you open up the email that I just sent you a couple, probably 20 minutes ago and screen share it and go to the bottom of page 17? It's about open meeting law and public participation. If you can, if not, we can just do it on the next meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been as a magician.
And to sum it up, basically, Vinny, as the chair, has discretion on what is said by the public. And for the years I've been as the attorney for the historical commission, his stance is for the yay or nay, or if you're support for or against the whatever's going in front of you, that's what it's for. So yeah, just
relax there for a little while, attorney. And,
just go to the bottom of 7.
Goes now, the ups or downs.
Yeah, just go to the bottom of page 17 and just leave that for, this is one paragraph for everyone to read.
I'm gonna read it right now. Under the open meeting law, public is permitted to attend meetings with public bodies. Executive sessions called for valid purposes of the law. While the public is permitted to attend an open meeting, individuals may not enter the public body without permission of the chair. An individual may not disrupt the meeting or a public body. At the request of the chair, all members of the public shall be silent. If after clear warning, a person continues to be disruptive, the chair may order the person to leave the meeting. The person does not leave, the chair may have the rights to constable or other officer to remove the person, although public participants entirely with the chair's discretion. Fortunately, should I keep going, Attorney General?
No, just that one paragraph. So basically the policy for the last 3 years has been yay or nay. So that's to answer, I think it was Mr. Gavy's question. But now during the public speak out, he can go on in depth about whatever he wants, but during the actual, are you for or against, that's that answers your question.
Page on that one. Thank you, Attorney Shuchuk. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind, that's part of the law we have to open under.
That's the law, that's what we should do.
And I'll take part of the blame because I let people kind of get a sentence or two so they can see what they think about it. I'm really not supposed to do that, any for or against. So I'm
Yeah,
trying,
so
it's just for or against, so you guys. Need
yeah, so when I jump in, it's just because if it's going a little longer, and then that's the policy, it's just yay or nay, for or against. So just so everyone is clear.
I think we got it. Thank you.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we're not clear.
I just want to ask a question to be clear. So it's just yay or nay, it's not why. It's not why it's a nay or why it's a yay, that's just yay or nay, is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, that's what Vinny, that was Vinny's has been his policy. So since I started, so I mean that's what so it's basically unsaid. That's what he's saying when he says yeah, are you for or against?
And then the public speak out is for whatever they want to add.
Well,
Yeah, for public speak out, it's they can say, yeah, they can bring up like, hey, on item 4 or whatever, but just when during item 4, it's are you for or against?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to public speak out now. Now, this also has guidelines that we really don't go by. I can limit people to the time, just a specific amount of time, just so you know. And since we don't have too much issue with this, it's usually a few people, they know what they want to say, and they get it over. But I forget if it's 3 minutes. 3 minutes is, I've never put the clock out here to check something to say. We really want to hear from people in public speak out. So right now, we are in the public speak out section. So anybody who would like to throw anything out for us, or something we should know, or a question you might want to ask, now's the time. So let me start over there. Anything? You can just give your name and address for the record, that's all.
Yolanda Thomas, 40 Melville Drive in Springfield.
Excellent.
I am here on behalf of our parents. My dad is deceased, Albert Summer Bolden, 61 Yale Street, Springfield. I am the youngest, just had a birthday, turned 55. So a lot of this stuff that, thank you, a lot of things that has happened in our neighborhood, I was the baby. I didn't know, and I never even knew about this here. Now that I know, I feel like I have to get my own understanding and educate myself about my neighborhood. I've always thought I lived in a historical district. And I've been hearing lately, well, not your street, the streets around us. Also, I'm here because my mom's house is deteriorating. It's deteriorating like every other house on our street. And I know that if our parents, if our fathers were still alive, the houses would never look like it looks. And I feel like it's the children's fault that we grew up and we walked away. But now we're coming together, me and my sisters and my brother who's in Arizona, we're trying to get things together. My mom will be 89, Lord willing, in August, and we want her house to be restored back to what it was when I was a kid, when they was. This is my oldest sister, so she's been around a whole lot longer. But I think this was great for you guys to listen to what the public is saying, what the neighbors are saying yes or no, that you're willing to help. And I'm praying and hopeful that you will help us as well.
So what you're saying is your sister has much more experience.
Absolutely.
I just had to throw a good point in for you. No, we're happy to have you. You can come to any meetings and just to hear what's going on, even if you have nothing to say, you're welcome to join us. Like Carrie joins us almost every meeting and regularly adds comments for us and forward guests regularly. And what was your David? Yeah, he'll be here. And Dave's been a regular since I started on this commission 12 years ago.
And I also,
Yeah.
one more question.
I think you had another minute left.
Okay, so when you were doing what you were doing today, you were asking for the public, I'm assuming that was us. to
Yep.
speak up. We could have said yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know, so for or against, yea or nay.
Yep.
Right, okay, I didn't know that, so that's why I didn't say.
That's okay.
I think this is awesome. Thank you very much.
And sometimes you won't feel that way about us, but.
That's all right.
Because
It's okay.
preservation of historic, it really isn't, it is a huge gray area sometimes where you're really torn between what could go or not. And I'll just give you an example, because we voted for it, you saw us, the Slate Group. It's so hard for me to vote to let that happen, because it's such a landmark place. But it does to me in my mind, I'll give you my rationale, is that if we put a burden on an owner of a property so dramatic that there's no way, I mean, Shriners couldn't even keep the place going. And they sold it to somebody else, that they can't keep it up where they leave it themselves, and all of a sudden we have an even more deteriorated building. So where do you draw the line in the sand? And sometimes I draw in the right place, and I hear about it, sometimes I draw in the wrong place, and I really hear about that. So, that's how that in my head went today. I want that building preserved, and if somebody can't afford to do it, it's not helping us to let it deteriorate. But there's others where we see that it clearly isn't deteriorating, but somebody wants us to think it is. Right. And we know, we figure it out, we vote, they all vote however they're believe the knowledge about it, something is. Nobody leaves. I just happen to say more. Commission, you can take. Damn, go ahead, next. Wait a minute, I'm excited. We're Dave, are you gonna take another 3 minutes? You're good for today? Anybody else? Hold on.
Yeah.
Aaron.
I have a question.
Yes.
I think I probably asked it before, but I'm getting old.
It means
I participated in a few of the subgroups around new construction guidelines and historic disasters, right? And I don't know what the outcome was. Is there now a document?
No.
That was an excellent question.
There was, we've been we had,
Yes, a full meeting.
About a year ago.
Yeah.
well, about 1 year ago this month. That came to a screeching halt, but most of the work is somewhere.
Can interject, so as part of the RFP that was put out for the new guidelines and new criteria from the districts, we also asked that the
Good.
proposal.
Well, I'll take it from here. I got.
So essentially, yes, they would be also working on.
So we have put out a proposal, we have asked outside help on this. To give us information or a proposal on what the guidelines should be. Before that, we were very close to having them completed. And we lost a commissioner or two, and then a couple of things happened that. I was trying, you remember, you probably do, I slowed it down a little because I wanted to make sure we weren't doing it with just 4 commissioners. So my goal was to have 5 or 6 or 7, so it's a more well-rounded, so everybody, I thought it would be better if more people participate. That delayed us quite a bit. And then, wow, then we ended up with these 4 people every single time. And I didn't want to bring it to the task to the table. I'm just having the same 4 people all the time. So then they put it out for an RFP, and somebody could bid on drawing up these guidelines. Now we have our own that we did. I'm looking forward to this coming, so I can take what we thought was good, see what somebody else offers to us, and maybe put the best plan we could together. But it's still going to take some time. But we're working.
Okay.
Does that answer your question at all?
No, that tells me where you are.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, let me just let the young lady in the back.
Thank you for acknowledging me as being a young lady. Regina Miller, 66 Holly Road, East Hartford, Connecticut. My parents have been in that home since 52, and the street has always been the Ivy League. So there's all the colleges named after them. So it's a lot of history there, it's a lot of legacy there, and even the house that was diagonally across the street. They wouldn't do anything to it, and we just watched the house fall, deteriorated, or the lady died, and the house just fell, and then one day I come back and it was gone, it's a hole, there's a hole there, and it's still a hole. So, we wholeheartedly, put to the task of the commission, if they would so assist mom in her house being restored and put back to, where it was and how it was. And in my growing up, since my younger sister wanted to throw me out there, I remember when there was a big fight about the house across the street. And Joneses really fought for that little bitty house, but the house does not belong on the street. All the other houses are historically color coded and everything in accordance to what it's supposed to be by the specs. So now we just she needs some help. We need some help. And she's done a lot for the city of Springfield. She's been on a lot of the commissions on a big night, everything for the city, for the mayors, on this commission, that commission, whatnot. Mom has done it all. Now mom needs a little help. Thank you.
There's on the website, city website, there are guidelines, historic guidelines that you can look at in general. Our only purview is the exterior of that property. And we don't govern everything, but anything visible from the public way has to come before us. Now, a couple of things we can't do is we can't give you information on contractors, and we can't do things like that. But we can tell you what is acceptable. You might have heard like things wood in light, if you're redoing the house, doing exactly the same wood, exactly the same shape, exactly the same thing, that's really easy to decide. But by all means, always ask and help it. David, I'm afraid that we can see if there's anybody else, because you had your time. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah.
Before I move on?
No, you can-
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Stephen, we don't know what we can.
Please address the board.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No.
Well, it's talking to the chair. Oh, I still hear you from here.
Hi. A couple of years ago, I went on by housing. Make a long story short. When I got there was one page with maybe 6 names. 4 was silent. After about 3 months of just reading flyers for home improvement and land abatement, went back to get more flyers. But the munition said, stop. Why? We flooded. We ran out of money. We no longer have to return money to the state. Thanks for what you're doing, we have to stop. A lot of people didn't know about the program, so they went applying. And this 10-year plan that they were trying to tell us, well, you know, give us the ideas. I thought there was money allocated to meet our needs, only to find out that there was no allocation. So this 10-year plan, which is something that continues from what I understand. I don't know why. To address the young lady's concerns, what I've been requesting is that the maximum household income start catching up with the cost of living. Because when the cost of living goes like this and the maximum household remains the same, you have such a disparity. And when families, because of hardship, because of whatever, they have to share that home. Now, those additional incomes put them further down the ladder. So things like that need to be adjusted because there are too many vacant lots, abandoned, boarded up homes, and homes that cannot be repaired because they're victims of fires and people just can't afford it. So I've been trying to see if I can get folks to work on that. And it's finally,
You just gotta hold that last one, I just gotta put on the record that Commissioner Nardi just left the meeting for a minute, but go ahead.
and
You got about another 30.
the cleaning chain, thank you for the point of information. Thank you for the point of clarification. It brings order to the meetings, and it does not show favoritism for anyone over others. Thank you, sir.
Now, just another thing for the record, then I'll be done with the public commentary. Is some of the questions it sounds like you're asking are really like money. The commission has nothing in any manner to do with where money comes from or where it goes to. At the most we do when people are looking for money is we can, if they ask, we can issue a letter of support for the project. But money issues, all we do here is try to keep the historic properties of the houses intact as we can. But, you know, they work hand in hand, but there are other people who you'll meet, you'll meet if you eventually, Springfield Preservation Trust, other people that can guide you where you might be able to get money there. We don't do that here at all. But, that's the only other thing I can think of, and,
How often is your meetings?
first and third Thursday of every month. And watch for, because sometimes if we don't have a forum or something, we do have to cancel meetings on stuff. And just one other day, you got another 30 seconds if you want.
30 seconds. The house that you were just hearing about on Yale Street was one of the ones that we worked with Jack Benoit and the Community Development Department on under the McKnight Defense Fund. We were able to stop the house on Harvard Street from being finished. These are raised ranches that were being thrown into the middle of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the city and the neighborhood worked together to put a stop to as much of that as we could. But the one on Yale Street that she's talking about got through. We would like, with the commission's support, to create that kind of coalition.
You're the only one who hasn't spoken here tonight.
Thank you, save the best for last. Bowling King, 128 Cheyenne Road. Our parents have been at 61 Yale Street, they have been reputable residents. The home has been always kept up to par, it's been green and white since they bought it. Our mom's health has failed her now, and to tell her that her street is no longer or not considered historical in the historical district breaks her heart. She sat on every, as my sister said, committee. She sat on the Toe McKnight. I remember coming to meetings. I remember some of your faces. My mom was very active. Priscilla Bolden, and we need this committee to do whatever you have to do to put Yale Street back in the boundary of the historic area so that we can apply for the same funding that everyone else is getting and has gotten, so that our mom her home can be restored, and she can't get it otherwise without the support of this committee. And then the letter that you can write and support, sir, Mr. Walsh, we would appreciate that as well. Whatever we can get to assist our mom is what we need, but the main thing is,
Right, when that process goes through, and I'm gonna have him pull up, what was your mom's address?
Yeah.
61,
61?
yeah.
Okay.
right on the corner of Yellow and Brown. My mom worked with everybody, Richie Mill, everybody. My mom was right at the table with everyone, and I'm just in awe and dumbfounded that there's no help for her.
Yeah,
And she's helped so many.
we're always
67
at a
years,
third.
and it's-
So there's local is in blue.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's
That
it's a
was-
natural, it's not
National, yeah.
And it just, it's unbelievable.
Can you do the street of the house? I'm sorry, can you do the
Super Yale in the center, up and down.
It's right there with the screen.
No, I know, I wanted him to go right to go to the street view so we could look at the street. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's very sad.
Oh, my God.
And I mean.
Is that it right there?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, my God.
And she needs her porches repaired.
There is up there, like I said, there's a good dearth of assistance, there's just not that much out there. And we have. And I'm not repeating it to make a point other than we don't have anything to do with the money part. But I can look at the house and if you had a project that was being submitted through some other means and they wanted somebody to verify or an opinion that it was historical, I have no problem with it. It clearly is a historical house in the National Historic Register.
Yeah.
But those houses are that big, it's so spectacular, but the problem, that's what the problem is happening, people, they're hard to keep up. You have to have a special account and hopefully enough money to do it. Anyway, I'm gonna be done with, if you guys are okay with the public speak out, I'm gonna have to take
Thank you.
a motion to adjourn.